What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to another fishing trip here on beautiful Pensacola Bay in Pensacola, Florida. Today we are out on the Mako and we are trying to catch whatever we can get to bite this hook, y'all. We got some live shrimp that we're going to be dropping down on a couple different spots here in the bay. We're going to do a little bit of fishing inside of the bayous. I got some gulp artificials we're going to throw on some jig heads, just all kinds of stuff that we can throw out. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to start treating these fish like I treat my wife, because all I really do with her is try to figure out about 24 hours a day exactly what it is she wants to eat. And I think that's going to be the trick to this, is seeing what these fish want to eat today. We're still coming off that cold snap here a couple weeks ago. Hopefully the bite has turned back on a little bit. I appreciate y'all joining me for the ride. Now let's get to fishing. We're going to see. The wind's supposed to pick up more and more all afternoon. I'm not really sure how long we'll be able to stay out here. It's not terrible right now. It's completely manageable. We've been out in way worse than this before, so not overly concerned about the wind at the moment. Chop's not really bad. I'm not even really seeing that many white caps out and over the bay, which is when I tend to get concerned. If I start seeing a bunch of big white caps, well, that's a good bite. Uh-oh, are we got a fish on? I think we do. He's just gonna be a little guy, but we got a fish. What we got? Uh-oh, it's our first mangrove of the year, y'all. Check him out right there. That's the first mangrove of 2023, and he's just a little guy, but it is a mangrove snapper nonetheless. So we're gonna get him undone here, show him to the camera, and get him back, because he is way too small to keep. Y'all check him out right there. First mangrove snapper of 2023. I'm sure there will be many more to come. Let's get this dude back. See you, man. Look, I know that was just a little bit teeny tiny mangrove snapper, but it felt good to catch a fish right now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because I've been on the struggle bus. So we're gonna drop a couple more, and maybe there's something bigger hanging out down there with those mangroves. I mean, I honestly would not be mad with some keeper mangrove snapper, if I'm being honest, because I haven't had any fresh fish to cook in a little while. I mean, I was really hoping that trigger fish that we caught on the first was gonna be big enough, but then I ended up finding out. I looked at my fish rules app, and I immediately pulled up triggerfish, and I didn't give it time to update to like the date and everything and where I was at. So it said open, and then as I was like looking at some other stuff on there, it flipped over to closed. I'm like, what in the world? And then I got to looking, and it actually closed on January 1. Oh, is that a good fish, or is that just the boat? I think he just pulled me into the boat right there, guys. That's what happened. Every now and then you can get them out. We'll see. The bad thing is the fish is still on there. He's just got me tied up in the shrimp boat. So we're gonna break it off and go again. Right there. Yeah, okay. Fish number 2 on the day. Ooh, that is definitely the biggest grouper I've ever picked up on this spot for sure, guys. Still not a keeper size, and I don't think these guys are in season at all, but cool little bycatch for sure. Y'all check that out right there. That is our first grouper on the year. 2023 species up to 4, mangrove snapper grouper. I'll take it. What a beautiful fish. Y'all check him out right there. Those spots, man, these are such gorgeous fish. All right, buddy, I got you, holding you all awkward here. Let's get you back. See you, dude. Hey, a fish is a fish, y'all, for real. Like, I am not gonna be picky right now, because it's been a day. Let's get another one down there and try to put another one in the boat. The current is definitely a lot stronger out here than it was over at that last structure, because I've got a pretty big weight on here right now, and it's still struggling to stay in place on the bottom. It's wanting to drift back behind the boat. But I think it's just a product of, we've got a really strong northwest wind right now, as well as an incoming tide, and we're getting pretty near to the top of high tide, and I think that has a little bit to do with it. But that was a nice bite I got there just a second ago. Just couldn't get him wrangled in there. All right, there's a fish. Little guy, but that's all right. We'll take a fish. That is the smallest red snapper I believe I've ever caught. Honest to goodness, like, I don't think I've ever caught one this small. Y'all look at this little bitty baby red snapper. Still hooked him in the mouth, as you can see. But hands down, the smallest red snapper. I'm gonna show him to the chesty because it's gonna be really tough to show him to the big camera. But y'all look at him there, just a little bitty tiny red snapper. Definitely the smallest one we've ever caught. But hey, small fish matter too. I'll take it, y'all. Little bitty baby red snapper. Let's get him back. Grow up, buddy, so we can eat you in a couple years. Good job. That was insane. I know they say you should never complain if you're catching fish, and I'm not complaining, but I am saying right now that's a little ridiculous, the size of that fish. Like, he ate a shrimp that was bigger than he was. A shrimp, y'all. The dude tried to eat, didn't try. The dude ate a shrimp that was bigger than he was. I appreciate your ambition. I really do. I appreciate it. Guys, I truly hope you're enjoying the video. We are out here trying to get after some fish today. If you are enjoying it and you're new here to the Cameraman Ron channel, we would be greatly appreciative if you would take a moment and smash that subscribe button down below. Make sure you get your notification bell turned on and make sure that you like this video. It truly helps us out, and we truly appreciate each and every one of y'all. Now let's get back to fishing. Made it back into the bayou. It definitely got pretty rough out there. The run back was it was kind of a knocker a little bit, especially on the old bum foot. So brought it back in the bayou. Oh guys, something bit it right there. I don't know what that was. We're gonna kind of toss this little gulp curly tail around just a little bit. I think they call these a 3-inch swimming mullet. But we're just gonna try kind of toss this around, just see if there's anything hanging out in the bayou before we take it onto the house. See if we can't put one more fish in the boat before we call it a day. All right, guys, so that was definitely a trout. I was trying to figure out whether they were pinfish or trout, but I saw that one. So definitely going to keep throwing here for just a minute because these are trout that are after these. Finally got one hooked up. Just going to be a little small speckled trout. But I knew that these trout were in here. Now we just need a little bit bigger one. That's the first trout I've caught in a while. Definitely the first trout of the year, but first trout I've caught in a while. Turn my chesty on here so y'all can get a look at him. Check him out there. Just a nice little speckled trout. They're hanging out in here right now, so hopefully we can get just a little bit bigger one. Let's get this dude back. Thank you, buddy. Played him off the side of the boat. Trout really tend to hang along this shelf right where this drops off into like the channel for boats to go out, and a lot of the time if these trout are in here, that's where they're going to be. It drops off from like 6 or 7 foot down to like 13 or 14, and they really tend to hang around that little shelf wall where it's dredged out and comes out. That dude did get the tail off. These work so much better when they have the tail, but I will tell you, man, the tails on these little swimming mullets from Gulp don't last long. As soon as they get hit by a fish, they come off. And a lot of times they'll hit it in the tail first, and they'll take that little curly tail right off of that Gulp shrimp. So not the most durable bait in the world, but definitely they've got their scent figured out because it kills it as far as catching fish. There's fish on. All right, guys, we are in the nursery tonight for real. Like baby red snapper, little bitty baby speckled trout. I'm talking tiny speckled trout. Didn't have my chesty rolling again. Just tiny speckled trout. A little bit bigger. At least we got out of the nursery just a hair, not a ton, because he still ain't nothing to like write home to mom about, but a little bit bigger of a size than what we caught so far. Maybe we can at least put him on the website as our speckled trout for the year. Y'all check him out right there. See you, dude. squeaker. No, okay, is it up there for a second? I thought that was gonna be a sand trout, but it is not. It is another speckled trout. Y'all check him out. See you, buddy. In the nursery, y'all. In the nursery. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna call tonight a research mission. We can happily report that the fish had babies this year. I don't know what we can speak of as far as catch size, but we know for a fact that the fish had babies here in Pensacola this year. We caught some baby trout, we caught a baby mangrove snapper, we caught some baby red snapper. Literally the two smallest red snapper I've ever seen, like actually bite a hook and eat. And I mean, I know these smaller fish do eat, but man, it was just like, had never seen one quite that small. And then we come in here, get back in the bayou, and just caught just two of the most dink trout you've ever seen in your life. So, as far as a research mission, we were very successful today. We found out that the fish did spawn, and we found out that the spawn, at least some of them, lived because we have managed to catch them in here today. Let's see if we can hook us another trout or two before the sun goes down here. They're definitely hitting it, I think, more on the fall. It feels like, I haven't really seen it yet, but it feels like they're hitting that thing as it's diving down, which would make sense because that's when you get the most action out of that curly tail. As it dives back down, that thing's just going crazy on the fall.
I was gonna see, the landlord said that he can let us in on Wednesday in the morning time to test everything.
Yeah.
Would that work for you?
Yep, Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me, that's fine.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, there's a fish. Okay, I gotta go because I gotta catch this fish. I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, bye. All right, it is nice when you can be out on the water talking business with another wedding vendor and catch a fish right in the middle. So that was one of our good friends, Christine. I don't know if you guys have seen Christine on the channel before, actually. And she has got a very exciting endeavor underway that we're helping her out with just a little bit, but we'll tell y'all more about that in the very near future. But another little just baby speckled trout. See you, buddy. You know, I'm not mad though, guys. With the lack of fish that I've caught the last 2 weeks, like, I don't even care about catching small fish. I really don't. Like, I think it means more like to you guys in the audience than it does to me, because I can tell you right now, if I'm out on a small farm pond and I'm catching a little bitty tiny bluegill or in a creek or something like that, I'm having just as good of a time as I am if I'm catching giant redfish or jack crevalle or something like that. And I mean that. Like, I just enjoy being on the water. Does not matter to me what size the fish is. I'm just happy to finally be bending a rod again, and that's a fact, because I have not caught very many fish in the last couple weeks. The weather's just been all out of whack here in our area. There's another fish, and it's not been good fishing. So just to come out here and bend a rod and catch a whole bunch of fish, that's plenty for me. Like, I don't need them to be giant. It'd be great to catch one to take home and eat for supper, but even if we don't do that, I'm not complaining, because we are catching some fish right now. See you, buddy. And they're not ripping the tail off my curly tail, so that's a good thing. So I'm pretty sure I said it when we were out on the bay. Almost inevitably, this time of year, every single night, right around sundown, when you get in this area of the bayou, you have potential to catch trout. Now, I've definitely caught a lot bigger trout than what I'm catching in here today, but they're almost always here. Inevitably, you always seem to find these trout right around sunset this time of year, from like January to March. This is where they like to come to at sundown. I don't know why, I don't have an explanation for you, but they certainly like this area right around sundown. There we go. There's a fish. Come on in here, buddy. We got a quick release on that one. I'm sure the GoPro picked it up, but definitely got a quick release on that fish. Guys, we're gonna tie on one more curly tail here, and then we're gonna call it a day. The sun is rapidly setting behind us. It's gonna be another beautiful ending to a day here along the Florida Gulf Coast. Man, truly blessed, and I know I am. There we go. I don't know how many, I've lost count of how many of these guys we've caught. There must be just hundreds upon hundreds of them down there to have been able to caught this many. Looking pretty, but got that nice, pretty Pensacola sunset in the background. Don't get no better than that, y'all. See you, buddy. We've thrown a lot of stuff at them today, guys, but this gulp curly tail or swimming mullet is definitely what we've had the most success on right here at the end of the day. Honestly, not really surprised by that at all. It's just that time of the year where this is an artificial bait that just works. My son will appreciate that comment, but this is certainly a bait that this time of year it just works. Great bait. Are we on? I think we are. No, he came off. Probably lost my curly tail there. No, he stayed on there. But this is just one of those baits that when the weather cools down and the bite kind of slows down, it works really, really well. Almost better than live shrimp. Like, I had live shrimp today. Like I told you guys, I did make the mistake of my bubbler was on when we first got started, but it was not producing any air. So I don't know what was going on with that or what happened, but most of my shrimp had died before I realized it. So I still had fresh shrimp, but they were not alive. And I mean, we may have done better out on some of the base spots if they had been alive and kind of kicking around. Not really sure about that, but at the end of the day, I'm not mad. We caught some fish out there. Nice little grouper, probably the biggest grouper I've ever caught out there on that structure. And like I said, by no means was it a giant. I'm not trying to sit here and act like it was a big grouper. I'm just saying for that area, that was the biggest one I'd ever caught there. So not upset about that. Definitely got into the hatchery today, folks. Like, there was no question we were catching some BBs, like baby red snapper, baby trout. The mangrove snapper we caught was not very big either, so you could probably classify him as a baby too. So definitely not upset with the results from today's trip, that's for sure. I mean, we've caught fish, we've had a good time, got to hang out with you guys for a little bit. So guys, as always, I truly appreciate you guys coming along on this little fishing adventure with us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and as always, find a way to make somebody smile today. You never know how much it might mean to them. We can't wait to see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon.